Okay, activity 4. Now, activity 4 is a little bit more important for you guys because you have to remember, even from the lecture material, that this is like most definite on every exam is there's the questions asked about security, and security means that you have to go back and have a look at your lecture notes to look for the authentication, authorization, and so forth of how a user logs in. How do you authenticate them? Authorization and encryption and so forth. But there's an added section, and that part of this workshop is security on not just websites, but security on computer systems. Right? And there's a exercise for you here to actually do, and you should do this in your own time. I've given you the answers here, and so it's up to you to write them down. But what I would recommend that you do is actually go to the website and just copy paste these, like what is encryption, right? So you should know what encryption is with an example for the exam. Same as spyware, phishing, farming. Just copy paste these guys into a web. Into the Google and go to, let's say, the wiki page just to get the definitions. Now, I've given you the answers here, and you're probably thinking, what are these numbers, right? But what it actually it corresponds to is like here, farming number 6. We've got a definition table here. So if you go down to number 6, you actually see that phishing is where people try to scam information, financial information, through basically making a copy, like a lookalike site. Right? So you think you're actually logging in, let's say, to ANZ. Actually, you can't do that now, ANZ anymore, but just for instance, if it was Bank X, right, and you're familiar to go to that Bank X web page, what actually farming does is it'll create a copy of that web page, and it really acts like a filter between the existing web page and the guys who want to get all your private information, right? So you think you're actually on Bank X, but you're actually on the farming guys, and they will grab your information and so forth while you're thinking that you're in an active connection with your bank, right? So these numbers correspond to these items of definition. You should know them all, right? Just for your own sake, not only just for the course, right? But have a look. What does a worm mean? What does botnet mean? And all these guys. So I've given you the answer for this table, but you should, irrespective of the table, you should actually just go and cut and paste this into Google. Have a look at the wiki definition of all these, so you're familiar with what they actually mean. Right? And that actually wraps up the exercise for today's module. So it really depends on you to do some hard yards and just have a look, browse around on the web and so forth, just to see whether you're familiar with internet security, right? The colouring scheme, and the rest of the heuristics, which I want to show you immediately right now. Is I'll minimise this guy and we'll come across here. And if you're familiar with the web, not the web, the lectures, you have to remember the 10 heuristics provided by Nielsen. And Nielsen, this is a bit more detailed. What you should do is actually go back to the web, to our course website, and have a look at the presentation for usability, right? And in there we've actually got the presentation for heuristics, Nielsen's heuristics of 10 points which you have to remember. And basically this document here just gives you in different words what we actually meant were covered in the lecture. Right? So please have a look at Nielsen's heuristics, because these items here you'll have to be able to explain if you look at a website and say, is it consistent? Does it use standards? Are there error preventions and so forth? And it doesn't just have to be a website; it can be an application as well. Right? So make sure you have a look through the lecture material and make sure that you actually understand Nielsen's heuristics, because it's almost guaranteed it's asked in the exam. Right? Okay. All right, I hope I helped you out there. If you have any questions, remember email, and all the best, guys.